What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade basketball analysis coming to y'all with a quick video for the day. Today we're gonna continue the draft until free agency starts, which is not too long from now. We're gonna talk about Trae Young, a guy that got traded for. They was willing to give up Luka Doncic, a guy that a lot of people, even including myself, felt like he was the number one person in this draft. The sure thing, the guy that should be a franchise player. And Atlanta, they had him. They had him right there, right there, right there. And then they ended up trading down to get Trae Young and getting a first round pick in return. You get Trae Young, the person that you really do want, plus you get another first round pick. It's smart, especially if you didn't really want Doncic or you feel like he wasn't a guy for you. Um, or you just personally like the Trae Young better. We seen it last year with Danny Ainge. Trading down from the short everybody, including me, was Markel Folks Pro. We all liked it, and we all felt like he was the best player in that draft. Celtics said, hey, we're going to trade down and get Tatum. And people didn't know why they did that because they had a lot of wings. And now that we've seen them play this year, it made more sense seeing how he has played and how he has fit into that organization and fit in with that team. So they might know something that we don't know. They might have a particular. I know one of the person that's worked for the Hawks had drafted Steph Curry, so he probably sees some Steph in him. He probably gonna see how much good he can get out of. He hasn't had significant major injuries or anything concerning besides his size. He's very little. We seen what happened to Isaiah Thomas. Chris Paul got fight in him. That's why he's one of the better defenders at the point guard position. But even Chris Paul said, "I'm going against some big guys." Like these guys are the reason why Chris Paul continues to get injured. He's banging into him. He's fighting through screens. He's getting took out. And Chris Paul and Isaiah Thomas are the best little guys in the league. And I feel like Chris Paul is significantly better than Isaiah Thomas. But Isaiah Thomas showed that you can be a good player in this league. You can be an all-star in this league if you put the work in and you really want it. But can you win a championship with a guy like that at the point guard position? Isaiah Thomas was able to get to the Eastern Conference Finals with Brad Stevens, but that offense was anchored and the defense was anchored so smartly by Brad Stevens. It made Isaiah Thomas personally look better than what he really was, but he was a 20-point scorer before or close to it before he even was with Brad Stevens. So I can't give Brad Stevens all of the credit because Isaiah Thomas showed that he can play on that level before he even went to Boston, and he showed that he can score on the NBA level before Brad Stevens. But he doesn't shoot the ball very well. Besides in Boston, he didn't really shoot the three well all the time. He was very quick in finishing, but Trae Young don't have that burst. He doesn't have that explosiveness. He even struggled to shoot the college three as the season went on. His numbers started taking a hit. He is a better passer, but scoring wise, I think it's going to be a huge adjustment period for him because he's so little and so people so long and lanky. He struggled at the middle of college and at the end of college. The NBA is only harder, is only tougher. But if the guy can go in there and put the work in and study a lot of film and try to make the best out of his abilities, how good can Trae Young really become? Can he be that all-star guy for the Atlanta Hawks? And it is a little easier because he is in the East. There's not as many dominant guards in the East. We even seen Kyle Korver make it to an All-Star team. We done even seen Jeff Teague, who never was a superstar or a franchise point guard. He was just a solid point guard that knew his job and played his role, and he was even able to make an All-Star team in the East. So I'm not going to say that Trae Young would never make the All-Star team. He's going to be a bust. It is a possibility that he may make the All-Star team, especially if he stays in Atlanta, a team that have been able to stay competitive but not get over that championship hurdle. And that's what I was really surprised that they made that move because you get a guy like Doncic that people feel is that franchise guy, and you trade down to get a guy like Trae Young, a guy that has a lot of question marks coming into the league. And you getting a sure thing that people believe, but you rather trade down to get a guy like Trae Young. And the fact that Schroeder may be gone, depending if they trade him or even if they find a team that would even want Schroeder, the minutes will open up for Trae Young. But he's going to lose you a lot of games because he has to adjust. He has to go through the pain and the losses, and he has to have the growing pains and stuff like that. So you're going to lose a lot of games, and you're going to see within these first couple seasons, will he be that franchise guy? You will see a lot of his potential. You will see a lot of his heart, and see how much he really wants it through this campaign of his first 3 seasons. He's going to get up a lot of shots. He's going to have games where he go for 25. He's going to have games where he go for 30. He's going to have games where he shoot the team out. He's going to have games where he might not shoot the ball efficiently. We've seen guys like Dennis Smith Jr. that's a little taller, more athletic, even struggle shooting from the field. Even De'Aaron Fox, a little bigger and more athletic, struggle shooting and scoring from the field. And they bigger and more athletic, and they haven't transitioned as well as we thought they would. I wasn't a big Dennis Smith guy, but he still does have more time to develop. So I'm not going to throw him like he's trash. But he didn't really blow out the waters this season, but he put up solid numbers. But I think if Trae Young does get to start, he's going to put up respectable numbers. People don't really care about the field goal percentage unless it really matters in the Rookie of the Year. You have to nitpick something. I don't think that's going to hurt him, but if he do get the starting spot, he's going to score a lot of points because he's more of a scorer anyway. When you averaging 27 points a game, your mentality is anytime you see the daylight to shoot. I don't think that's going to necessarily work in the NBA, especially as a rookie, but they need as much talent as they can get. They need to find a way to have an identity, find a direction they're trying to go in with the defense and with the offense. They have some solid players on this team that still potentially can develop into solid role players or even stars. Losing Dennis Schroeder was the opposite. They wanted to go in the direction with Dennis, and now with Budenholzer gone and Schroeder not being happy, if he leaves, it's going to be all on Trae Young, and that could be a little bit too much pressure. That can be a little bit too much of a load, especially for his size and his stature and him being a rookie. And on top of that is injuries. Remember, Devin Booker is one of the guys that has been able to put up numbers, but he's been beat up because he has to take all the shots. He has to make all the plays, and that does increase the injury. The more you do, the more you have the ball in hand, the more you go to the paint, the more you got to carry the load, puts more stress on you, and it gives you an opportunity to get more injured because you're getting beat up and banged up a lot more, and it's tough on your body. Luckily for Young, he is younger than a lot of the other guys in the league, but he's littler. Like I said, Chris Paul cannot even stay healthy at this point in his career because he's so little and so fragile. And Trae Young is more littler than him, and he never played a game in the NBA. So I'm definitely gonna see what he does in summer league. I think that is gonna be a big step for him, learning some offense, learning some areas that he can score at, learning where he can get the best out of his talents on this roster. Because they want to run some things that they run in the regular season in summer league. He's going to play with some of the players that he's going to play with the Hawks in summer league. So he can get some familiarity. He can get some shots up. He can learn some things playing in summer league. Hopefully he plays all the games because he's going to need it, especially if Schroeder is gone. At the end of the day, I think Trae Young is an interesting prospect. He's a guy that a lot of people love him or a lot of people hate him. There's not really no in between. I'm one of the people that's more or less like, I'm not going to judge him until I see it. I'm not going to judge him just based off his rookie year. I'm not going to rush to judgment. I just feel like it's a process. I got to see it through with him. I got to see how he goes from summer league, see how he goes from the first 30 games in the season, because even some rookies, Ben Simmons was scoring more than his numbers dropped off a little bit scoring wise as the season went on, and then his other numbers increased. So as you watch footage, as you study, as you see the scouting report, you start, and as you get familiarity to playing with certain players, because some teams you play twice, some teams you play 4 times. Maybe it didn't work the first time. Maybe you make the adjustment the next time. So things like that, little things like that matter, and that's something that he's going to see as the season goes on. And as the years go on, we're going to see if Trae Young going to live up to the hype. Because it is a lot of point guards that got drafted high that didn't pan out, that's better and taller than him coming into this year. And, even if you look at a D'Angelo Russell or you look at a Emmanuel Mudiay, those guys haven't really panned out. And they was highly touted players at that point guard position. And even, like I said, Dennis Smith Jr. and De'Aaron Fox, they struggled a little bit too. even though he's a better shooter, but they're more athletic. They can get to the basket a little bit more, but they're a different type of player. So he might have a lot of bad games. He might shoot you out of a lot of games. He's going to be a high risk, high reward player. Is either he's going to pan out and be a superstar like Steph Curry, his comparison, or he's going to be a mediocre player and a bench player, kind of like Alfred Payton. They had all this potential. They seen a lot in him, and he ended up just being a backup point guard at best, especially on a good team. Or he can possibly be a bust. He just don't have the speed, just don't have the athleticism, just don't have the body, and he can be a Jimmer Fredette. That's another person they compared him to. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to judge him even off summer league. I'm just going to see and evaluate him from that summer league and see if he makes the proper adjustments, see if he gets the body, see if he gets the short term memory, because he's going to have some bad games. And if he can forget about him and continue working on improving and getting better, that should get him through. Trae Young is a popular player. He made the news a lot. He was on TV a lot. A lot of people talking about him. A lot of people was talking about him even before the draft. So he does have a lot of hype. He does have a lot of people that's naysaying. He does have a lot of believers, but he also have a lot of people that don't think he can get it done. So he's going to be one of those guys everybody's going to be watching. Everybody's going to be talking about. Everybody's going to be covering. And a lot of people going to be wanting to see him fail. So that should give him even more reasons to go out there and work harder, especially because the media going to be on his ass like they already is. And that should give you even more incentive to go out there and put on the show. And the problem I have with Trae Young going to Atlanta besides Dallas, I mean, the problem I have him going to Atlanta is he don't really have that much help. That's what I'm saying. He's going to have a lot of bad games. Just like when he was in college. He don't have no superstar on that roster. He doesn't have another go-to guy. Torian Prince is not even at that level. He's still developing. He don't really have that much to work with. And he even if Shooter leaves, he's going to have even less, but he's going to get more minutes. But he's going to have a brutal rookie year until they actually get another star or some more talent down there. This offense is going to be kind of like Oklahoma, end all be all Trae Young. Whatever he can get, whatever he can do, they're going to have to take it. But the difference is it's even harder because he's in the NBA and he's at a disadvantage going in there. So whew, he got it cut out for him this year, and it didn't help. He had hype, but now that he doesn't even have that much talent to work with at Atlanta, going to be even scarier. But they do have some young talent, so he should be able to grow with this roster, develop with this roster, get some respect, get some credibility, get some consistency, and maybe one day they all start developing in jail, and next thing you know they back in the playoffs trying to compete for a championship. But Trae Young is one of those guys that got a lot of things going for him and a lot of things going against him. I hope he do succeed. I hope he don't fail. But at the same time, this is a business. This is a job. This is not let's play basketball for fun. This is not let me go outside and play with my homies. This is you got to wake up and work to keep your spot. Because remember, Moutier was drafted as they got rid of Ty Lawson for Moutier. Next thing you know, they got rid of Moutier for Jamal Murray. This is a business. At the end of the day, and being a top 5 pick, you have a lot of expectations, and especially with a team like Atlanta that needs help and needs a superstar, and they're at the bottom of the NBA, they're going to need somebody that can come in here, fight, and come in here and get them in the right direction. And a lot of them people are putting that on Trae Young to become that guy. And that's even hard to live up to, but he has the attitude. Let's see if he can do it. Check out my website, analysisplayground.com. Link will be in the description in the comment section below. Check out my Facebook page, analysisplayground.com. Link will be in the description in the comment section below. Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis, I'm going, and let me know what you guys think in the comment section below.